Finally, it arrived. I've seen it, and now it's time for my Dark Knight Rises review. Right, so to kick the review straight off, I'm just going to get it straight out of the way. I loved the film. It is a brilliant, brilliant film. Definitely worth the wait. And you have to see it yourself. I'm going to do this review, but it's probably not going to mean anything to you because you've either seen it already or you're going to see it, because it's just that good. So alright, let's kick it straight off. But first, what I wanted to talk about is what Christopher Nolan has done to the Batman franchise. He's brought it back to being cool again. It is cool to like Batman again. Let's kick it back. Let's go back a few years and we get Batman, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Very good Batman film. Very much loved by fans, and a very good performance by Jack Nicholson. So that went down very well. And then Batman Returns comes along. Still very good. Maybe not as good as the first one, but still still up there as a very good Batman film. And then here this comes, Batman Forever. Very different to the first two Batman films. Very more family friendly, and it kind of incorporates things for children as well as adults. And like I said, it's got Jim Carrey in it. Tommy Lee Jones playing Two-Face is very comic-y, and half of his face is bright pink, so that just proves it as very family orientated. So it was alright. And then we get the biggest piece of garbage I've ever put on to my TV screen, Batman and Robin. I'm not even going to say anything about that. And then, so that Batman and Robin buried Batman to the very bottom of the list of good films. It was gone. No one liked Batman after that. It was it was a disgrace to filmmaking. And then many years passed, and an unknown director called Christopher Nolan turns up and announces he's rebooting the Batman franchise. And then we get this, Batman Begins, and it is amazing. It is a very good Batman film, return to form, and everyone fell in love with Batman again. And then of course, the greatest Batman film of all time up to now, Dark Knight. I'm not going to say much about that because everyone loves The Dark Knight. You've got Heath Ledger in there. Brilliant film overall. But what I'm coming to is that Christopher Nolan, by doing these two films here, just completely made Batman cool again. So obviously he announces he's doing a third film, and it's going to be his final film, so we're expecting the same quality as this. And to put it quite simply, he blows it out the water. These two films, Batman Begins and Dark Knight, are fantastic, and I think that Dark Knight Rises just pips that to the top. It is just that good. Everything about the film I loved. So I'm going to kick it off by talking about a few of the characters first. So we've got Christian Bale as Batman, and I'll talk about him kind of over the three films as well. And I think Christian Bale is my favourite Batman. He's been brilliant. The way he kind of changes himself between Bruce Wayne and Batman is brilliant. They're like two different people, and it's really cool to see. He's got that kind of cheekiness and kind of arrogant style of Bruce Wayne, really down to a T. He does it really well. And in I will say now as well, I'm not going to give any spoilers away for the film, and in the way he plays like a broken down Bruce Wayne at the beginning of Dark Knight Rises, he just pulls it off brilliantly. He looks really weak, fragile, which needs to be seen on screen. We're not going to believe it if he's supposed to be really weak and frail, but he's got these big old bulging muscles. So that's what I really like about Christian Bale. He's a brilliant actor that can he's given a part and he goes all out. He changes his whole body to play the part. Like recently he starred in The Fighter, that boxing film. He lost all his weight became really skinny for that film. And then obviously next thing he's doing is Dark Knight Rises. He's got these big old bulging muscles back again, so he goes all out for his film roles, which I really like. So yeah, Christian Bale, best Batman by far. And then we've got this film's new villain, Bane, played by Tom Hardy, and what a brilliant performance this was. He's menacing, he's scary. When you see him on screen, you feel like a tensity about it. You don't know what's going to happen. The way they've portrayed Bane in this film is very good as well, because obviously in the comics he's a massive he's kind of like DC's version of the Hulk. He's got these big bulging arms, like veins popping out of them, and things. Obviously they couldn't go down that route in this because Christopher Nolan wanted to do the most realistic Batman films to date, so he couldn't do that. But what he's done is made like a psychopath kind of person. He's massive, he's big, he's muscly, and he's got this kind of mask over his face, and he talks really like, people have been split down the middle by the way he talks. They either love it or they hate it, and I loved it. The way you don't expect to hear the voice that he has come out of that massive body he's got, which is really good, which makes him a really unique villain as well. And I really enjoyed his portrayal as Bane, Tom Hardy, because he hasn't done many big blockbusters before this, but this is definitely going to set him off. Obviously he's done things like Inception, but I can see a big future for Tom Hardy now, because maybe it's not as good a performance as Heath Ledger, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat Heath Ledger by his Joker performance, but it's up there, and maybe Heath Ledger just beats him by a tiny bit, but Tom Hardy's done himself really well by playing Bane in this, and I thought it was a brilliant performance. And then you've got Anne Hathaway playing Catwoman. I don't think she deserves the stick she's getting, or she got, because I watched it and I think she's done a great Catwoman. Obviously you couldn't have an unrealistic kind of cat mask on or anything like that. They did it really well. She plays like the really sly character really well, and I thought she was a better Catwoman than Michelle Pfeiffer, and that's saying something, because that was a good performance. So yeah, I was overall happy with Anne Hathaway. One of the standout performances of the film definitely though is Michael Caine as Alfred. Every scene he's in is very emotional. He pulls you straight in, and it proves that he can still act. Michael Caine is still a top actor despite his age. He's still acting in these Hollywood blockbusters, and he's arguably stealing the film. A lot of people have been saying his scenes were just amazing, and he deserves awards for his scenes. So yeah, definitely Michael Cole. I'm thinking about WWE there. Michael Caine, sorry. He deserves awards for his portrayal of Alfred in these Batman films. And away from them, I wanted to talk about the music of the film. So Hans Zimmer, he was doing the musical score for the film, and the music on these films just really are amazing. They pull you straight in. What I love about it is how, if you've got just a plain talking scene between two characters, you've got this really tense music just buzzing in the background there. It just makes things a lot more tense. Obviously it doesn't really happen in calm scenes like towards the beginning of the film, but towards the end, when there's characters talking really frantically on the street in a big panic, you've just got this permanent stream of music in the background, just really builds the tension. That's what I really like, and it's a very powerful pieces of music throughout the whole film, and it's definitely one that you should check the soundtrack out on YouTube or something like that. So yeah, very good music for that. Of course you've got other good stars in there. You've got Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a new character in this one called John Blake. And they're all put on very good performances. Obviously you expect Morgan Freeman and Gary Oldman to put in their great performances, but yeah, still definitely up there. Very top actors, very good. The length of the film, I thought it was a perfect length. It was just under 3 hours, and to me it zipped by, because I was just hooked straight in from beginning to end. It didn't feel like it dragged at all. I wasn't waiting for the end. I think maybe I wanted a little bit more. I was a little bit upset when it ended, because I was just so into it and I was enjoying every bit of it. what I like as well is it brings a lot of closure to the series. Obviously it's the last film, and you've got Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and then you've got this one. And I read an interview with Christian Bale, and he says it's like one long film, and I definitely agree with him. There's no, it all continues, the plot as well, and all the characters are all the characters are back in each film, and every film is very tense. It pulls you straight in, and that's what I really like about it. It's like one long film, and I'm gonna miss this series of Batman. I don't know where they're gonna go with Batman after this film. Obviously we've got the Justice League film coming out in 2015, so whoever gets the role of Batman has got a lot to live up to. So to kind of wrap it up, I just want to say this film is an absolute 10 out of 10. Film of the year by far, and I think its only competition may be The Hobbit coming out in December, but I can't see it living up to this, because this film was just fantastic. You need to go and see it. I loved every minute of it, and I think it's definitely my favourite Batman film of all time. Christian Bale's my favourite Batman of all time, and yeah, go and see it. 10 out of 10, loved it. So yeah, cheers for watching this review. Leave your comments down below, and I will speak to you in my next video.